No one tells men this, but you don't get respect by earning it. Not from women, not from other men, not even from yourself. Respect isn't a reward you chase. It's a reflection of who you've already decided to be. But here's the trap. Most men are stuck in performance mode. They think if they work harder, dress better, stay polite, stay humble, stay quiet, someone will notice. Someone will validate them. Someone will finally say, yeah, he's worth something. But the truth is brutal. If you're waiting for people to give you respect, you've already surrendered your power. Respect doesn't come from playing it safe. It doesn't come from staying agreeable. It doesn't even come from success. Because we all know successful men who are still treated like a joke. Respect is claimed. It's projected. It's non-verbal. It's energetic. It's not something you ask for. It's something people feel when they're around you. The man who walks into a room and gets respect before he even speaks, he's not the one doing the most. He's the one who has nothing to prove. And that's what changes everything. This video is for men who feel invisible. Men who are tired of doing everything right and still coming last. Men who women say are great guys but never choose. Men who keep getting passed over, talked over, underestimated, or friend-zoned. And don't know why. This is for men who feel like they've hit their ceiling. Socially, professionally, romantically. Because deep down, you know something's off. You can feel it. You're not living as the version of you that walks into a room and changes the temperature. You're surviving. You're hoping. You're waiting to be picked. But what if the reason you're not respected is because you've made other people's opinions the ruler of your value? What if every time you hold back what you want to say, every time you let someone cross your boundary, every time you let attraction override self-respect, you're quietly teaching the world to treat you like an afterthought? That's not weakness. It's a pattern, a deeply ingrained one. And until you break it, you'll keep wondering why no one sees your value, when really you haven't been showing it. What you're missing isn't more effort. It's energy, presence, boundaries, a non-negotiable relationship with yourself. Because respect doesn't come when you finally do enough. It comes when you stop abandoning yourself to be liked. And here's the twist. The more you try to prove your worth, the more you signal that you don't believe in it. Respect isn't earned through performance. It's embodied through presence. Not with fake confidence, not with forced swagger, but with something deeper. Self-respect that radiates before you even speak. If you've ever felt overlooked, disrespected, or invisible. This isn't about changing how the world sees you. It's about changing how you show up. Let's change that. I bet you've probably heard the saying, you teach people how to treat you, but no one ever told you how you're doing it, especially when you're not aware of it. And this is where so many men unconsciously sabotage themselves. They don't get disrespected because they're weak. They get disrespected because they're constantly trying to be liked. Big difference. You try to avoid conflict. You explain yourself too much. You downplay your needs to avoid being too much. You say yes when you really want to say no. You pretend to be chill about everything so you don't rock the boat. And in doing that, you teach the world that your feelings come second, that your time is negotiable, that your values are bendable, and that your presence isn't something to adjust to, it's something to take for granted. That's not you being humble. That's you leaking power. And over time, that quiet self-abandonment builds resentment. Not just toward others, toward yourself. You start questioning, why do people walk all over me? Why don't women take me seriously? Why do I feel invisible in rooms where I should be leading? It's because you've trained them not to notice you. Now here's the hard part. It's easy to think you're being kind. It's easy to tell yourself that you're being respectful. But respect for others that comes at the cost of respect for yourself is just disguised insecurity. And you feel it. You know when you're shrinking to fit in. You know when you're laughing at a joke you hated. You know when you're nodding at something you disagree with, just to avoid tension. Those moments matter, because each time you do it, you make a silent announcement. I need your approval more than I need my integrity. Let that sink in. The most respected men aren't the loudest. They're not the most dominant. They're the ones who are the most rooted. Rooted in their values, rooted in their boundaries, rooted in their self-respect. And that rootedness is what creates gravity. It pulls people in without trying. It changes how people speak to you. It changes how women respond to you. It even changes how you move through the world. More grounded, less reactive, less desperate for validation. So if you've been living on the edge of not wanting to upset anyone, if you've been the agreeable guy who never gets chosen, the one women say is so nice, right before ghosting you. It's time to start practicing presence over performance. Start by noticing when you're saying something just to be liked. Pause before answering quickly. Check in. Is this my truth, or am I trying to get a certain reaction? That single shift will start to rewire everything. Because when you stop performing and start living from your values instead of your fears, respect becomes automatic. And here's what no one tells you. People will test you, especially women. Not to hurt you, but to feel your edges, to see what's real. If you don't have any, they won't trust you. And if they don't trust you, they won't follow you, sleep with you, build with you, or choose you. That's how deep this goes. Let's talk about the kind of man who doesn't need to raise his voice to command a room. He doesn't try to dominate, he doesn't chase attention. But when he speaks, people lean in. When he walks in, people feel it. That's energetic authority. It's not about controlling others. It's about having full command over yourself, your nervous system, your boundaries, your desires, your attention. And the truth is, most men aren't lacking ambition, looks, or intelligence. They're just dysregulated, unrooted, disconnected from the body, caught in the mind. You want to know why you don't feel confident in conversations with women? Why you freeze up or overthink or try to impress? It's because you've left the one place your power lives, the present moment. You can't lead when you're spiraling in your head. You can't magnetize women when your energy is seeking approval. You can't access your grounded masculinity when your body is flooded with cortisol and self-doubt. So here's the shift. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from practice, staying rooted in yourself when everything in you wants to perform. When you're talking to a woman and your heart starts to race, slow your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the space between her words. Don't rush to fill silence. Let it breathe. You don't need to win her over. You need to be with her without abandoning yourself. That's what women feel. They feel when you're performing. They feel when you're pretending to be relaxed, but your energy is trying to pull something from them. But they also feel when you're solid, unshakable, not trying to prove or persuade, just being. That's magnetic, that's attractive, that's masculine. So how do you cultivate that? You start by mastering stillness. Not passivity, but presence. You learn to stay in your body when tension rises, to hold eye contact without flinching, to express desire without fear, to walk away when something violates your standard. Not because you're playing games, but because your values are not up for debate. That's what creates a shift, not a script, not a technique, but energy. When your presence says, I don't chase, I choose. When your tone says, I'm not performing, I'm grounded. When your silence says, I don't need to prove anything. You stop waiting for respect. You become it. And once you learn to embody this, you'll never beg for attention again. You'll never wonder why people don't take you seriously. You'll know the world mirrors what you lead with. Lead with groundedness, and respect will follow. Let me say it again. You don't get respect by earning it. You get respect by embodying it. And when that clicks, everything starts to shift. Because once you stop outsourcing your value to other people's opinions, you stop living in reaction. You stop needing applause to feel worthy. You stop bending your boundaries just to be seen as a good guy. And you start living from a place most men never access, inner authority. That's what women are craving. That's what you're craving. Not the applause, not the performance, but the peace that comes from knowing exactly who you are and not negotiating it. Let's be clear. Respect isn't about control. It's not about being louder or colder or more dominant. Real respect is subtle. It's the kind that makes people adjust how they speak to you. It's the kind that makes women feel safe in your presence. Not because you're soft, but because you're solid. You don't owe the world a performance. You don't need to chase what's already yours. The only thing you need to do is remember your role in your own story. Because here's what happens when you truly lock into this mindset. That job you've been too afraid to ask for. You ask for it without apology. That woman you've been afraid to approach? You walk up not needing her to say yes, just knowing you're worth the interaction. That feeling of being overlooked, passed over, or invisible. It disappears because you've stopped waiting to be seen. You've decided to be visible, not by shouting, not by showing off, by standing in the quiet strength of your own standard. This is what it means to be untouchable, not immune to rejection or judgment, but anchored in something deeper. A man who's not afraid to be disliked if it means staying in integrity. And when you start moving through the world like that, people will notice. Some won't like it, some will test it. Let them. Because every test becomes training. Every challenge becomes proof that you can stay grounded no matter what's thrown at you. You stop being a man who's trying to earn respect and become a man who commands it without even needing it. You'll notice something else too. Women won't just like you, they'll trust you. They'll feel pulled toward you without knowing why. Because you're not like the others. You're not trying to impress them. You're not shape-shifting to be chosen. You're showing up as a man who knows who he is. That's rare. And rare is attractive. But don't do it for them. Don't do it to get more dates or seem more alpha. Do it because self-respect is the soil everything else grows from. Love, purpose, power, peace. It all starts there. You've spent enough of your life trying to fit into other people's expectations, shrinking to be more palatable, performing to be accepted. It's time to stop playing by rules you never agreed to. So here's your next move. Not to hustle harder, not to become someone you're not, but to return to the version of you that never needed approval in the first place. Because the truth is, you've always had it in you. You just forgot. And the second you remember, the world will respond differently. So I'll leave you with this. Where in your life are you still trying to be respected instead of deciding to be? That answer could change everything.